This mother had left her young to fight alone, but the same could not be said of Lord Eivor as he leapt to his son's side. It was Lord Eivor's mighty blade that took her head, but the fight was won together. He had found his father. The warden stood alone, holding back a whole Darkwing army, their cruel Count Kazak leading them. His father charged, but the Darkwing Count was as fast as he was strong. The Winter's crown tumbled to Arlo's feet, now without a head to rest on. There was no time to grieve his father, as from above the Count revealed his greatest weapon, a Sky Scorcher. Not a fairy's tale, but an undead beast whose very breath could level kingdoms. And its eye was trained on Arlo. All that came next was a fog of bloodlust, snapping jaws, and the beating of leathery wings. But there could be no victory. Arlo awoke, groggy and warm to his father's shouts. Only he wasn't in bed. The warmth was from the fire that had engulfed Winter's Edge, and the shouts were his uncle's, the only other was beaten. But seeing what had been inflicted on Hilda and Krunk, Arlo's need for vengeance was only growing.
Arlo tried not to think of how many friends, old and new, lay dead. He still had more to do. blade soon cut them to ribbons. Short Tongue sent the terrified frog toward Bogmire Forge. Injured though she was, the queen had no intention of giving up her hunt. Her young hungered. Another villager freed. They too headed for Bogmire, and Arlo wondered how many more frogs it could take. A dank and unsettling place. It had to be the Queen's lair. Arlo wondered what his father would say if he could see him risking his life for frogs. The Tailspinner Queen was dead, and the frogs were soon at work rebuilding the village. The warden was sure mammalian-amphibian relations would be forever changed. The Backstabber lay defeated, and Arlo paid his respects to the beaver, who leapt up at Arlo's paw. Playing dead had spared his life. A chance to work and live at Winter's Edge brought a sparkle to Billy Beaver's eye. He could not wait to get his teeth into the stone of the mighty keep. Arlo hoped he did not mean it literally. the beast in a fury that sent all other bats from the ruin in terror. Robin was bereft. It was meant to be a simple hunt. He could not understand these flying abominations. Arlo offered what solace he could. Tuck was at Winter's Edge, where Robin could take some rest. Cultist defeated, the Elder drew something from his cloak. Lorenzo's arm. He swallowed it whole. Arlo soon wished that had been the worst of it. WereOwl was dead, and Arlo woke Lorenzo, who was as afraid as he was pained. Arlo sent the scared badger home where his brother was waiting to help him. The warlord sat surrounded by enslaved frogs and laughed at the pair's demands for their freedom. He had a surprise for his guests. The stench of the dungeon hit them as hard as its floor, a floor that started to shake, and from the shadows emerged the largest Toadcor that Arlo had ever seen. And frogs slayed the beast, its bloated corpse sinking slowly into the mud. Arlo felt a pang of regret. It had been a slave as much as the others. Glubba's tyranny had ended. Short Tongue offered the frogs a home at Bogmire Forge. Together, he and Arlo had freed the Rift as well as the frogs. Perhaps this would be an era of peace for both. It was eerily quiet at the ruins. Tuck had everything ready for the trap. It only needed Arlo to toss the blood fruit into the cooking pot. The stench would be sure to attract the beast. They only needed to wait. A high-pitched shriek pierced through Arlo's dreams, and soon the flapping of wings was upon them. fish still flapping on the ground, but no sign of the fisherman. It soon revealed itself. A rearing frost death march. The rabbit was hanging on by a whisker, but before Arlo could save him, a beast was on him. Amazed at the ingenuity of moles. This one immediately put the creature's blue blood to good use, offering a hearty reward for the warden's bravery. The rabbit bounding toward him was exhausted and panicked. Between his frantic breaths, Arlo made out the words, ice worms and village walls. Outside the village walls, the wind turned ice cold. The ground shook, and from beneath the frozen tundra burst the giant ice worm. The ice worm had escaped for now. Arlo knew he could not rest. This creature would return if he did not finish his hunt. Pursued the great ice worm to the peaks of White Whisker, and in the shadow of Mount Cauldron, it fell at last. The rabbits of the warren were safe. The giant death march was fast, but Arlo's tracking was faster. Just in time, as it had already found a victim. The villager was grateful for the rescue. They had been collecting herbs at the ditch opposite the village when the death march attacked. It still had business there, it seemed. The death march had made its nest here. When the villager disturbed it, the giant creature chased them away in fear for their young. This army was defeated, and Arlo was surprised to feel a small pang of regret. The creature had only wished to protect its nest. The burial chamber revealed both tales were true. A treasure hoard, and guarding it was the ancient drawer Harat Bluefang. A fearsome warrior, now laid to rest. More importantly, Arlo had found his treasure.